So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Antoine I'm going to try to say your last name, Mikhtarian, and we're here
Yes.
to talk about the band. It's called MikhMakh, and the album is called Flash Sale, which is already out. So, first of all, Antoine, how are you?
I'm doing great. This is cool, and thank you for having me. It's enthusiastic. You're on the other side of the world, and we are talking, so this is cool.
And I'm on my couch. Yes.
Yes. I'm on a
Yes,
chair.
you're on a share, but there's a couch on
Yeah,
the
is there?
in the back. So the band MikhMakh, I got the promo. I'm like, oh, this is a new band. So first of all, tell us a bit because the first thing that jumped out to me was the name, and I think the logo
Yes.
has like a cat. So tell me a little bit about the
Yeah.
inspiration,
It's
the name MikhMakh.
so. I formed the band in 2018, and that was when I
I think
was
an
still
EP, right?
living. With an album called Groovy Wonderland. It was 12 songs, but like an intro and an outro, so like 10 songs plus two special. And it was right after music school. So I knew I wanted to do something, but I really didn't know exactly what style or whatever. And so my last name is Mikhtarian, as you said. And, if I took the first four letters, Mik, and then in French, there's a micmac, which is basically a word that means a mess. If your mom comes into your room and says, "Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce micmac?" which means, "What's this micmac?" It means, "What's this mess?" And since I didn't know, yeah, exactly where the micmac project was going to be, so having this generic, quite funny name sounded appropriate. If we had chosen from the get go to be called the decapitation of the bloody whatever, it was already super metal. So, so yeah, Micmac was that. It turned out to be a metal band anyway, but
Yeah, it's more like an
that's the.
alternative metal band. It has some different sides to it. So yeah, cool. So how did you guys tell me a little bit of the history of the band, how you guys got together?
Well, as I said, so I formed it at music school. Well, after music school, I met the first drummer of the band back there. I did the Music Academy International in northern East France. And we formed the first iteration of the band that way. He knew a bass player, and we started that way. They so the first album, Groovy Wonderland, was with them. Second album, Sunrise, was with them too. But then I moved to Sweden, and I composed the last the album that just released, Flash Tale, and reformed the band with the Swedish musicians. So right now I have Olle Sohlberg by my side on drums,
Oh
and
yeah, I
Lisa
just saw.
Mikhtarian, she's helping me out with the bass right now.
Yeah, yeah. So you have Groovy Wonderland in 2018, then Sunrise in 2021. Yeah. And now Flash Sale 3 years later. So this is your band's third album. How would you say uh, you've changed or evolved musically?
I think it's getting better, in the sense that the first album was a bit chaotic, as you are after music school, because you've been to a jazz course, but also metal course and fusion and everything, and it's it's fascinating, but at the same time very challenging. And then to sort of produce something, it can be very cluttered. What do you come out with it? So the first album goes a little bit all over the place. The second is way more clear in regards to the style. So it's
Hmm.
already more alternative metal, and but I'm a guitar player and a singer, and so the second album is more of a guitar player's album, in the sense that I composed everything instrumentally and then composed the lyrics on top of that. But it sounds a bit like that, like it's mainly instrumental, sort of a two-headed hydra for the songs. And this third album, I did the opposite. I wrote the lyrics, and sometimes I had melodies and so on, and wrote the music to the lyrics, which
Oh,
made
okay.
for me for a more coherent songwriter's approach that I enjoy.
Did
And
you
the
enjoy
only thing,
the process of writing the lyrics first for this one?
I mean, so just so you see, like the only thing that I think has not changed from the first album to now is that I really love heavy riffs. So
Okay.
first album there was way too many of them in one song, so I sort of it's way more focused now. But like the basis has always been heavy riffs, heavy uh, metal music with quite melodic song, singing. I like
Yeah,
melodies and
when
I
I was
like heavy
listening to
riffs.
this album, I don't know why I got impressions of like different type of bands, and I thought maybe he likes Faith No More or things like that. So this is a good
It's not
way to talk about like what Antoine, like growing up, what were your musical influences?
well. I mean, it's not the first time Faith No More comes. It's complicated to say the influences because it would be lying to say that I'm completely conscious of it, in the
Mhm.
sense that sometimes you've listened to a jingle on the radio and it haunts your dreams and you're like, and sometimes you will channel it into your music, and sometimes you want, like, I've learned so many Brian May solos because I think he's just such a wonderful guitar player, and obviously I'm not the only one thinking that, but for some reason I can't get him into my playing. But I would say, like, the influences that I hear, at least in Micmac, are Freak Kitchen, so a band from Gothenburg, who, alternative metal band. I like Alter Bridge a lot,
Okay,
um,
yeah,
because
yeah, I
of the
can
same
tell.
basis, like metal music but with melodic singing.
Yeah, yeah, I could hear a lot of like melodic singing, something like
Yeah,
what Miles Kennedy would do with Alter Bridge. So yeah, so I have a quick. There's a song
yeah.
that I'm like, I wonder what this song is about. Bakuna Matata.
I like
Like,
that song.
what the hell?
I
Yeah, I'm like, what? Bakuna Matata?
I mean, um, well, the whole album was written during the whole pandemic thing, and
Mhm,
maybe that's why the album is a bit pissed off, because it was a special time. Um, but basically, there's entertainment giants that control most of the movies we see, and everything. And I feel like right now they are putting movies out, working more on Google Trends than they are working on storytelling. So that was the first reaction. Um, like, for instance, one of the biggest giants of entertainment, there's been talks of their main character going into public domain, and
are you
every
talking about
time,
Mickey Mouse?
exactly. So every time Mickey Mouse is going to public domain, at least being almost going, then there's been a lot of lobbying to having it retained to some way. And I feel it's quite uncool from a big company like that, because they've taken so much from public domain. Like, a lot of stories that we identify with them are just from the folklore,
Mhm.
stories from the medieval ages and so on. So it was quite combined, like, seeing that I felt very unclassy, and that really frustrated me. So I channeled it into a song, and the fact that I think that yeah, some some creatives. I mean, it's not really the creatives, but more like the big companies handling that. But I think we deserve better in terms of mainstream entertainment, because
Yeah.
I like movies, and I don't like taking being taking just for doing this movie for this minority, or this movie for this minority. I think that great storytelling is universal, or tends to be universal, and
Okay.
yeah,
So
I like to
Bakuna
watch
Matata
movies.
is about
Yes,
that.
yeah, Bakuna Matata is about that.
Yeah. I just thought you hated the Lion King.
No, The
No.
Lion King is great.
Okay, so yeah, because I just saw the title, I'm like, what the hell, Bakuna Matata? So it really stood out to me. Then you have a song called Holy Hypocrisy, which also I thought was really good, which I think it's a hypocrisy of Christianism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, no, I have nothing against Christians. My grandmother goes to church every weekend, and I get why she does it. Like being part of a community is cool. I get the same sense of belonging when I go to a metal show. So I understand. I mean, I've had the death anxiety and this sort of stuff. So I understand why religion can be great for to some people. What I don't like is when those things interfere with society,
Mhm.
in the sense that
Like
you are
politics, yeah.
free. Exactly, you're free to believe whatever you want, but when it comes to deciding on life or death, or the health of someone, then it's not cool. And I saw this song was mainly inspired by a documentary about what happens in Italy, where abortion is legal in air quotes, but they, how to say, doctors can choose whether or not to do it depending on their beliefs. So for Italian women who want to do abortion in a healthy and safe way, they it's very hard because they stumble across this you know holy barrier of it goes against my religious beliefs type of thing.
Okay, understand. So what other topics do you cover on Flash Sale?
I mean, it's, as I said, it can be a bit of a pissed off album, but there's also positive things.
Mhm.
For instance, one that is also like I like Bakuna Matata because I think it's quite dancey for a metal song. Like it has this maybe Arabic rhythms, that these things. You hear it also in Latin music, but everything is covered.
Yes, it
And
sounded like a reggaeton beat when you were doing that.
exactly, no, but I mean it's a bit that it's a metal get on. and and another song that has that is "Do It Now" in the album, and that one I think has a quite positive message, in the sense that I'm a proactive. I like to think that I'm a proactive guy, and I know that it's hard to do it. Like, doing something is always accepting to step into the unknown. It's not always as big of a step, but it's always doing that. You never know the outcome, and so a lot of people, and and I am guilty of that too, want to know every tiny bit of information possible before doing anything,
Oh yeah.
which is a good way of just not doing anything, because you won't have all the elements of anything before stepping into the unknown. So that's why it's quite a simplistic message. But yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it. Do it now.
Yeah,
and
there's only one thing missing from that track. That you
yeah,
should
sure.
have used like your best Arnold voice, like, come on, do it now. Ah!
but
That,
that's
that would
but
be,
that's why I need you to do it.
yes. You can sample me for like, come on, do it, get to the chopper, something like that for the next album. So I wanna show the artwork for the album. So here we have MikhMakh's flash sale. So everyone knows what a flash sale is, where you have things that you want to buy at a discount. Is there a symbolism to picking this name for the album?
Yes, because it's quite I mean, it's quite a hassle to do an album. You spend a lot of time composing your music, then you spend a lot of time recording the music, then you spend a lot of time finding the team to put it in shape, like the right mixer, the right musicians, the right everything. and by the time it comes out, and that's what I've so far I haven't managed to do like a very fast album process to so that it still feels fresh when it comes out. Um, but so by the time the album comes out, I've been listening to the songs for 3 years. So then there can be a sense of just get it, okay, have it. Sort of like when you empty your last, your stock when you are in business and you're selling whatever it is.
Mhm.
The things that you've been having on the shelves for 3 years, you're like, I just kill the price and just get it for nothing. That's the symbolism with it is in there. It's also that the song Flash Sale that is in the album, I like it a lot. And I have to say, um, thanks to the team around this album, I'm feeling motivated with it. Like the process of releasing an album and the exhaustion that comes with it has been very clear for the first two albums, and with this, since I have the right mixer, the right drummer, I felt like they made the album better every time, even though I knew the songs for ages. The fact that you have the right drummer who sort of reinterprets your songs in its way, and then the right mixer who enhances everything, and the right mastering, then you're sort of engaged again and sort of enthusiastic again. And that's so I'm not exhausted. I've been through these songs many times, but the fact that you're having the right team around makes it enthusiastic even for me.
Okay, I'm guessing, when you are working on something and you already know those songs, it can get tedious. So do you have a favorite track of the new album?
I don't.
Don't?
but that's why but that's why I mean, I have a least favorite
A
songs
least
like that.
favorite. Which one's your least favorite?
No, I'm
I
not.
thought you said you had a least favorite.
No, but I know, but it's you have songs that resonate less, and songs that resonate more, um, and for some reason, it has a chronological thing, where it's like the first songs that I composed reflect where I was back then, and then it gets closer and closer to where I'm now in terms of composition. I'm happy, for instance, to give it to you. I'm happy that I composed "Surprise, Surprise" because I like it reflects on a personal event where I was talking to what I thought were friends, and one of them turned out to be a big misogynistic, just all of a sudden, a big misogynist all of a sudden.
You can tell he was an asshole.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole point of Surprise, Surprise is that it's like you are among friends, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I didn't know you thought you thought like that. We wouldn't have been talking for an hour if I knew that. So I like it, but it's the first one that I composed, so it um I think what came after uh, from composing and so on, uh, it's closer to me. But I like a lot Grain of Sand,
That felt
because
more like a love song type of song, right?
exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a ballad, and
A
I
power ballad.
I don't know if it's a power ballad, but it gets angry by the end, because it's obviously a love for life type of thing, but also it it talks about having death anxiety, and how you know you are both afraid of dying, but it's the end that gives meaning to everything that we live, and the fact that you have to cherish it. So there's this ambivalence in the song that I like, and personally I felt it was challenging, like for me, writing a groovy song
Mm.
with a heavy riff, and well, like Surprise, Surprise, or Never Too Far Away. These groovy songs that have been in MikhMakh's catalog forever. There's always
Okay.
these songs are easier than composing heavily meaningful ballad. I'd say. So
I
I'm very
know.
proud of it.
So
Um,
it's about afraid of death. So I used to be more afraid of dying, but I became a parent. And I don't know if you've seen Star Wars, but do you remember
no.
Empire Strikes Back, where Yoda is like laying down and Luke is asking him so many fucking questions? He's like, please, let me rest, let me die. So when I became a parent, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes you get so many asked questions, you're like, leave me alone. like,
I
like
understand.
you're unafraid of death once you become a parent and you get asked questions 24/7.
Uh, then you see it as a long rest. It's like, ah,
Yes,
finally.
please let me rest. But yeah, so yeah, there's different type of elements and musically, yeah, there's I get the alternative metal and I get the influences that you say, alter bridge and all of that thing. So so do you think for in the future you will work like what you did on this album, that you will focus on writing the lyric first and then the music?
Yes, because the reason why I did that for this album is because on Sunrise, so the previous one, I composed beautiful songs instrumentally, and sometimes once it came time to okay, now let's write lyrics and vocals, I didn't have anything to say. And that's quite a frustrating thing when you're like you've spent all this time composing a beautiful song and then you're like, really? I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah, that's what you
So
call the writer's block.
yeah, I mean, but sometimes you're not in a position to actually say anything. I mean, and sometimes the music doesn't convey to you whatever. So I feel like by doing it the other way around, you write the lyrics. There's some form of rhythm that comes with it, so you tend to go towards a style or a rhythm, whatever you know. But the 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 lyrics themselves tell you something, and then at least you know that you had something to say. So of course there's always the option of doing instrumental music, but for some reason I mean I listen most to uh, bands who sing, and the music I compose I always have the need for melody and for singing. So yeah, I think there's always this sort of I have a riff idea and whatever instrumental ideas that you record on the spot for later. But when it comes to building a song from beginning to end, I think having the lyrics is the way to go so far. Yeah.
And how do you when you're writing songs and you have that you're like, oh my God, oh shit, I don't know what to write about. How did you get out of that writer's block? What made you like have the ideas flow?
Well, that's 4 years ago. So, um, I mean, usually it will be so disappointing as an answer, but let's go with it. Usually, going for a walk does the trick.
That
But
sometimes that's the trick for
I
everything.
mean, it's there's I'm gonna give you just another one because obviously like tuning out and tuning back in is a way of sort of refreshing yourself and hopefully you get another um, uh, point of view, a slightly different point of view when you dive back in. But another thing is, for instance, I mean, Flash Tale has been composed for a while now. It's releasing, and the question is always once you release an album, there's been so much energy put into it and so much effort that you feel that maybe I don't have another album in me, which is dumb because I've been through this 3 times. So I know that there is an album. But the point is just to slowly find it. And in order to do so, I compose a little bit of music here and there. I write a little bit of lyrics. And sometimes when you don't have anything to say, just trying to remember moments that felt meaningful for grain of sand. I mean, the having anxiety at night is meaningful. It's stressful, but it's meaningful. Um, and recently, I mean, last year I went on tour with another band to Spain, and I hadn't played there in 10 years, and I felt something. I'm not. I wouldn't describe myself as especially nostalgic or whatever, but and I didn't feel so attached to Spain. I grew up there. I grew up in Madrid, um, but something happened,
So you
and
speak
so
Spanish too, man.
I speak Spanish too. So, but
Ah,
when I saw that
cool.
your name is Hector, then I said,
Yeah.
oh, maybe. But yeah, so diving into those moments where okay, I felt something, and what did I feel, and how was it, and start writing without judging what you're writing, but around that topic, you see if there's a song there. Usually, if you're moved by something, there is at least one song there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think sometimes overthinking can cause like something like that. I don't not write songs, but maybe I'm doing something
Uh-huh.
else. And just go out, walk, do something that get the blood flowing, and maybe then the ideas will come to you. So the
Uh-huh.
album has been out almost a month now. Have you
Yes.
done some shows? What are the plans to promote the album?
Well, I've done a show. We have a second show coming this Friday, but um, basically, since we are rebuilding the band, I needed something to show for it, like say, but this is the new sound. So I needed to have it released so that I can show what we do and build on it. Uh, so I released it as soon as I could, and so obviously there's promotion plans as you've you got the release and we are chatting, so this is great. And there's other interviews that I'm gonna do, and I'm working on promoting it on social media, and of course there's more music videos coming, and we will do some live recordings too, just for the whole internet presence. um, but then locally we are basically doing all the gigs we can, because that's where in Gothenburg, there's quite a few venues. So the point is to do them all. Uh, Obviously, not always as a headliner, but to play as many shows as possible. And then when it comes to touring, that's something that we will do, because I have contacts in Spain, contacts in France. But I've already done tours in the past without heavy promotion of the music,
Mhm.
sort of small clubs where you rely on people who are used to going in, and who like to discover music, which is okay. But I'm trying to do it the other way around now, like trying to push the music, see if there's people who enjoy it, and then try to find those people where they are live later. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sounds like a cool plan. So, where can people get the album physically? Do you have it on? Do you have CDs, vinyl, or what are the physical formats that
Yeah,
people can purchase?
we have CD because because CD will come back at some point. Mark my words. I mean,
Well,
we are
it's
doing sort
never
of.
actually gone away. It's just less
No,
popular.
it's never gonna away. But just the thing that now, I mean, for the past 5 years, vinyl has been trendy again. But then slowly people are realizing that it's quite a hassle to listen to vinyl.
And
So most of
expensive.
them are, yeah. So most of them are getting vinyl just to look at it. But then it feels a bit empty. It's like, yeah, you're basically paying $30 for a piece of cardboard and a piece of plastic inside. So it's not super cool. However, CD, you have the same sensation. It's not as
Don't
big,
say that to
but
the vinyl community.
I know. But I mean, it's
They
okay.
will
You
come
can
at
you
you,
can
Antoine.
come at me, man. But they are. It's cool if you like vinyl. It's cool. But I think CD. I get the physical thing. Even as a composer, I don't feel I have composed an album until I have the album in my hands, and I say like, "Fuck this! I composed this." There's something to the physical thing, and when I go to shows, I like buying CDs because I can actually listen to them, and the quality of audio is still unmatched. I know that vinyl, there's a grain, there's whatever. If you enjoy the sound of vinyl, it's great. But when it comes to translating what the creator, it almost feels like, oh, when it comes to translating what the composer did, there's no better way than CD. But so to
I
answer
like
to your
both form.
question,
I used to have a lot of CDs growing up, and I bought some vinyls now the last years, but I bought more like old stuff, like old music.
yeah,
I listen to the 90s. So I'll put the Bandcamp link so people
yeah,
who want to buy
exactly.
the album can
So
do so. So before I let you go, Antoine, what would you like to say to people who maybe are fans of MikhMakh or don't know MikhMakh, uh, to get into the band?
well, first of all, thank you very much for your time and for
Yeah.
listening to me blabbling. And thanks to you for having me, because you're a very likable guy.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thank you for having me. And I mean, if you're listening to this and you haven't checked out MikhMakh's Flash Sale, so the third album, just give it a few minutes of your time. And if you like it, well, stick around because we're gonna try to find you and play shows for you.
Yeah,
So
that sounds
that's
like a cool idea.
you
So
know,
yeah,
it's 45 minutes of your life, and I think
for
you won't regret it.
yeah, it's an album that flies by fairly quickly. So Antoine, I want to thank you for taking some time of your day to chat with me virtually on the couch from Sweden here to Puerto Rico. So it's good that you're in Gothenburg, but you have a different sound. It's not the Gothenburg.
No, it's not the Gothenburg
It's
sound
not the
yet.
Gothenburg
We
sound.
haven't we haven't turned into a Gothenburg band yet. No.
Yeah. So people will be like, oh, but they're from Gothenburg. Why don't they have the Gothenburg sound? I'm like, I'm thinking there's places you can have different sounds, people. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gonna put the link for people who want to get the album physically. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.